Working. Yeah, there we go. It would help if I plug in the microphone. That's always helpful. Hey, thanks for whoever telling me they couldn't hear me. Uh, Good to see you. I know you've been busy. Yes, hey, Skitty. It's pretty cool you're joining me over here on this group. This is gonna be a little different than my fish talks, but here I pop. Now I can hear you. Okay, that's what I was hoping. Well, it was my fault. I didn't plug in I was doing some other things with the computer, and this little mini computer I'm using only has so many USB ports. So I unplugged it to plug something else in and forgot to plug it back in. I should have checked that, but I thought everything was good. Anyhow, okay, let me start over. So thank you. Welcome, everybody. I appreciate you joining me tonight. I just gave a little extra time for people to join, to log into the live stream. What I plan to do tonight is talk about some upcoming events about reptiles and amphibians, and then we'll jump into going into the what kind of snake is this North Texas group, and going through there and looking to see what's been recently posted. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We can talk about the images we see, talk about different snakes, habitats, ask questions. That would be awesome. People can ask questions. We'd love to help you out with there. Going forward, I'm going to try to do this every week. Maybe Thursday night. I was going to do it every Thursday night, but one of the upcoming events is going to kind of override that. And it's going to happen basically the same time next Thursday night at 7 o'clock instead of 7:30. So I guess I can bring that up. Montreal thought it was, well, yeah, but we did think it was me. Okay, let's switch over to share my screen here. All right. So what we got here is an upcoming event, the Wild Lives of Texas Reptiles and Amphibians. This is going to be on next week, next Thursday at 7 p.m. and about an hour and a half. It looks like it was scheduled time. These are some of the other upcoming events. These are other dates coming up. This would be being done by a really good friend of mine, Michael Smith. Michael is the co-founder of the Dallas Fort Worth Herpetological Society. Great guy. He's been doing reptiles probably most all his life. He's not just a herpetologist though; he's a naturalist. So he's really really knowledgeable about a lot of things in nature. He gets out a lot. He's written at least 2 books, maybe 3. I know 2 for absolutely sure. He's written both, great books. Yeah, I would highly recommend looking that up and take a look at his books. But the event's put on by the Friends of Sherry Cape Heart Nature Preserve. It's over in Arlington. And he's going to do a series. This is going to be a multi-point series. It's going to be a PowerPoint presentation over Zoom. And this is going to be, if you want to register, there's some information. Where to go? Right here, the Zoom meeting and password. It should work for all the sessions. I would look up Michael Smith too and friend him. Let's see, maybe we'll go back to his profile here in a minute, show you because there's going to be a lot of Michael Smiths on Facebook. It's going to be a little confusing probably, but if you see who it is, you can match up the icon. So for the first one, it's going to be getting started. He's going to discuss the animals, what they are, introduce the topic of herpetology and things like scientific names, community, science. You get the idea here. And then he's going to go into amphibians, then crocodilians and turtles, then jump down to lizards, snakes for 2 hours, because that's a big topic there. And then herp conservation challenges. This is going to be a great series. I don't care if you're a seasoned herpetologist or don't even know what the word herpetology means. Please join this, and you're going to learn a tremendous amount of information. He's extremely knowledgeable. See if we got anything in chat. You're like, where I thought it was me. Okay, that's all we got going on there. Awesome. So that's the first thing we got going on. Let me jump back. Yeah, okay. Well, so the next event we have is going to be the DFW Herpetological Society is going to have a meeting on May 3rd. It's going to be at the Dogwood Canyon Audubon Center here in near Dallas, Texas, just south of Dallas. If you're in the area, please come join us. It's open for all. It's free. We will be starting at 2:30, and we're still working on a topic and a presenter. I may do something if I can't find anybody really quick. I put this together pretty quickly. I had to do something. We haven't met in a long time. I was like, we have to start meeting again soon. My plan is to start meeting every month, and if this venue works out well, we'll start meeting there every month, and we'll have to decide what day. It might be the first Sunday, like we're doing now. Most likely, it's going to be a Sunday though. Um, joining joining just now. What did I miss? You didn't miss much yet. Me screwing up, not plugging my mic in, things like that. We're just talking about the next some of the herp events coming up, reptile amphibian events. Then after that, we have one of our biggest events of the year, and personally my favorite event of the year. The Dallas Fort Worth Herpetological Society is putting on the Snakes of Tarrant County. That is where we go to the Fort Worth Nature Center on May. It's Memorial Day weekend, and that is going to be May 23rd, 24th, and 25th. So we'll be out there Memorial Day too. I've done this event, oh, it's probably coming up close to 30 years now. And this was started back in the mid to late 80s. So this is a long running event. We've never had every single snake that lives in North Texas there, but we've came pretty close. Hopefully this year we'll come close too. Gene Hay should be in town flying in from Northern Virginia. Hey, cool. Stop by. You might enjoy it. Um, so this event will take place. Oh boy, I forgot off the top of my head what the hours are. Do I have them set up in here? I think we normally do it. Let me see. No, it's not gonna help me. Let's put it for the full day on my calendar. I believe it's 10 to 3 each day. That gives us time to set up and break down on the Monday and Sunday. So we have a whole room. It'll be full of display tanks that go all the way around. If you look up Dallas Fort Worth Herpetological Society on Facebook, you can scroll down through there and you'll find some videos and stuff of the previous events that we've done. It's really cool. We have a lot of the members from the DFW Herpetological Society and a lot of the admins that are on the What Kind of Snake Is This Facebook group will be there on hand to be able to answer any questions you've got. You can come meet and greet with us. It's a pretty cool event. We'll be behind a table talking to you, asking any questions. If you just walk around, we have every animal is going to be labeled and displayed with some information. We usually have some pretty cool guest animals show up. Like last year, we had about a 3-foot long amphiuma there. That's a really cool amphibian. It's kind of like a salamander. It's like a big salamander thing. It's 3 feet long. Looks alien. So it's pretty cool. Uh, can't wait for Snakes of Tarrant County. Yeah, that's a cool event. It's a lot of fun. A lot of the members have been there before, so it's really cool. So I think those are all the main events coming up. So let's jump into the What Kind of Snake Is This North Texas group. Let me pull that up on my other screen, and I'll start sharing. There we go. You helped me with one of our snake presentations for a safety team, and they loved it. I cannot thank you enough for helping me and getting me over my fear of snakes. Oh, you're definitely welcome. I do some things on the side. A friend of mine, Mario Nickerson, we work for a um, company. That's kind of weird. Why is it showing? Oh, whatever. We work for we're what do you call it? Contractors, independent contractors for a group, for a company, and we do venomous snake. Well, basically, it's snake education. When we specialize in venomous snakes, so we'll do like animal control officers or bigger companies that are like solar companies, things like that. They're going to be encountering snakes a lot, and they have us come out there and do a full day presentation, half a day of PowerPoint, everything you want to know about. Not everything you want to know. That would take more than just half a day, but a ton of information about our native reptiles, amphibians, how to interact with them, and safety things. There's just a lot involved in that. And then in the evening, later in the afternoon, we actually bring out snakes to work with. This is not a free thing, so this is a paid event, but still pretty cool. Okay, let's share It's a really cool. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that's sharing good. So I'm hoping to do this every month, and then eventually, once this takes off, because right now there's not a lot of people know what's going on. It'll catch on. More people start really paying attention to this, and I haven't done live streams really on this YouTube channel, so the algorithm over there is not telling anybody that I'm on live. And I forgot to set up the calendar ahead of time. You have to do that ahead of time for both of them, for Facebook and for YouTube. So I did it for Facebook. I forgot to do it for YouTube till 30 minutes ago. So that's why there's probably not going to be too many people from YouTube over, but I don't care. That's fine. It'll eventually catch on. But then eventually, as it gets bigger, we want to have a guest speaker, a guest on with me, so we can have two people. We can be bouncing things off each other, be answering questions. Both of us, and there's two heads are always better than one. So anyhow, I got the YouTube notice. Cool. You probably didn't get the YouTube notice until right before I went live, because maybe 15 minutes before. That's when I realized it didn't get set up. So that's cool. Hey, Tom. Uh, you all provide such a valuable service. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You need to get some of your people in the area to uh, do sign up for our educational uh, program, relocating snakes and stuff. That could be cool. All right. Now, we've talked other stuff long enough. Let's get into the group. This guy is in the breezeway of an elderly woman's apartment. Everyone in Frisco would love to come. Is anyone in Frisco love to come relocate him? This is 8 minutes ago. That is, see, kinked up. As soon as you see a snake kinked up, there's about a 90% chance it's going to be a Western rat snake, and that's what this is. Decent sized one. Hopefully, uh, he will move along. Yeah, I mean, realistically, uh, when something like this such a beneficial snake that's going to be eating rodents, and it'll eat birds every once in a while, but eats a lot of rodents and keeps that stuff away. For me to come out there and relocate a snake like this, it's not venomous, not going to hurt anything, not even your dogs or cats. It would be a disservice to you. So we try to talk to people and explain to them the benefits of these guys. And this one here really probably needs to be left alone. Like they said, just shoo it away. You can hit on the broom, just walk away. It'll find its way to go somewhere else. If you really want it to move out of the area, you can spray it with water, sweep it away with the broom. It might coil up at you and act a little fierce, but it's going to be fine. Uh, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, another thing too. You'll notice this is going to be a common theme. You're going to see a lot of Western rat snakes. I can almost guarantee it. I've looked at the group a little bit earlier today, but haven't been on it for a couple hours. So I have no idea what's going to pop up. I don't need an ID. Just want to share. Scroll so I can see. Share with our friend today. Yep. Killer is so brilliant. Thanks for this group. Little guy went by his way. Well, anybody want to guess what that is? Pretty cool snake. Little Western ribbon snake. Let's see. All right, Fort Worth, about 16 inches long. Obviously a rattle of some kind. Oh yeah. Anybody want to guess what that is? Now, see, there's such a delay. And I'll see now that just Josh Freed's comment, harmless Western ribbon snake, just popped up, but there's a delay. So I'll wait a second if anybody wants to try to identify this before I scroll on. This is being in Fort Worth didn't surprise me. This is probably the southwest side, or at least the west side of Fort Worth. I would guess maybe south. The northeast probably not. See, Josh Freed's on it. Venomous Western Massasauga. He's probably got it set up for he starts typing it in, and also it fills everything in for him. He's typed these words so many times before in our group. He's our latest mod that we added too. Great photographer. If you're in the group, you've seen his photos for sure. Let's see here. We were scared, so we killed it, but I was wondering what it was. Let's see. That's a little hard to see, but being in a chicken coop, I'm just going to go. Oh man, buttermilk racer. It's not funky because I see the little speckles in there. So the buttermilks are kind of cool. They have a really very small limited range, and they're a subspecies of a racer. Uh, So if you look at little speckles in here, these guys only live down around the Houston area and over and just a little bit over into Louisiana too. Very, very small range. Gorgeous little thing. Yeah, the Massasaugas are pretty. I understand why people get scared of snakes and kill them, but putting yourself in danger too if it was a venomous snake. So that's probably not the greatest idea. All right, let's see. Ooh, we got a video. I don't know how well the video is going to play through a live video, but we'll let it run. And I have no idea if the sound is coming through. Oh, anybody want to guess that? It looks like a harmless yellow belly water snake. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see it very good on my screen. I'm gonna have to do something a little different. Let's switch over to a different mode. Uh, Maybe I can make this a little bigger so I can see what's going on. Yeah, I guess I can see it now. It's not too bad. Videos are harder. So if you're wanting us to identify something for you, I would recommend getting a photo. For some reason, photos work better most of the time. It's really hard to see. Like this video, it's a little snake in the water, and they have a photo of it here, but I don't see any markings on this thing. I could tell it's pretty small. Could be a baby something. I don't see any pattern. Almost looks like a rough earth snake there, but this looks kind of big for that. Maybe it's a DK's. Oh yeah, I'm looking over at the comments, and Josh said I had to pause and take about 15 screenshots to finally see it. I had some help confirming from another chat ID group. Yeah, I don't know what this is. I don't think, rough earth snake. Okay, that's what it kind of looked like. It's a nice large rough earth snake. And yeah, that screws up my do that. I forgot. I can't see. I have it zoomed in, so we don't get all the other stuff that's on my screen, so I can kind of see what's going on in the group better. Parker County. Oh, I can tell what that is just by a couple glimpses of this baby. This snake was hanging out on our back porch. I have a thought on what it is, but I would appreciate confirmation. Look at that dude. That is a classic, a very light colored, plain bellied water snake. Um, Let me look over at the chat real quick, make sure I don't miss anything. I had OS hard for me to see and I like the larger screen. Yeah. Yeah. There's another picture in a comment. Just there. Garter snake. No, it wasn't the garter. Check this thing out. Okay. You see these little white bands? We call these chalk marks a lot of times because a lot of times they're a darker snake. This is an adult snake, and that's a very, very light one. Normally they're much darker, and you can barely see these little white bands when they get to this size. That's a really pretty one, very colorful. I like to have seen that one. It's a pretty one. You can even see the belly. And the subspecies now is a yellow belly water snake here. So plain belly water snake's a species level. So if you call it a plain belly water snake, you're good. If you call it a yellow belly water snake, you're still fine because that's just more specific than saying water snake. Oh, I see. It's a black, not with a. It is black, not with a yellow stripe. Not sure which snake now. We got moved on. Asking for a neighbor. Found the yard next to our little dog. I think I know what it is, but I wanted to make sure. Oh, yeah, that's the easy one to identify. It's a Great Plains rat snake. What I'm using to identify it is the blotching, and usually right in there, you almost see a Y pattern. And I can't. Oh man, that might be a Texas rat. No, is that? Wait, that's a Western rat, I think. It's hard to see. I'm gonna have to do something next live stream. Let's see what else is saying. Maybe so I can zoom in better. Western rat snake. Yeah, Josh ID'd that one in the group. But that pattern looked almost like a Great Plains at the top of it. But then I started seeing the head was dark colored with no pattern on it. These are a great snake to have around your house. These guys will eat a lot of rodents and are not going to be a threat to anything. So, I really kind of hate to see stuff being killed because I know the person didn't kill it because they were mean or trying to be hateful in any way. They killed it because they were scared and they were misinformed. It was pure out of ignorance. And I don't use the ignorance in a derogatory way. Ignorance means simply not knowing something. So they just simply did not know what they had. So that's didn't understand what it was. That's why we have the group. That's the absolute purpose of this group is to help people ID things and make them safer and really help people out first, and then kind of help the snakes along the way. So if we can educate people, uh, then we can actually end up saving a lot of snakes because people realize it's not that big a deal. Let's see what's going on in chat. Oh, I looked at the water house. Gee whiz, my glasses. If I remember correctly, the head was solid gray on that one. Yeah, it does look, uh, Josh, it does look like gray. What's the difference between rat snake location? Rat snakes. Okay, rat snake is a pretty broad term. Okay, so there's even rat snakes from all over the world. People call rat snake. Rat snake's more of a general term, but when we're talking about rat snakes here in the U.S. or in this area, we have a couple different species of them. Uh, the one we see most, is, of course, is the Western rat snake. We Another common species is a Great Plains rat snake. They have a different pattern, and they are a different species. They have slightly different habitats, slightly different behaviors. Like the Western rat snakes love to climb, love to eat bird eggs, get bigger. They love chicken eggs. Great Plains rat snakes don't get as big, and they tend to stay on the ground more. They're less likely to find them off the ground, and their habitats are slightly different. They seem to be a little bit more of a prairie, drier habitat in general, and more flat. But a Western rat snake's a generalist. It seems to be prevalent in just about all habitats, except when it gets really dry. So if you've got the West Texas, you'll start losing the Western rat snakes, and you'll get more of the Great Plains rat snakes or emery eye rat snakes. There's also another another snake. It's called a rat snake, which is the uh, Trans-Pecos rat snake, and it is not as closely related to the other two rat snakes. The other two rat snakes are themselves. So there's different groupings and different patterns and things like that to consider. Hey, Matt. All right, let's go on through here. Prairie Lakes Golf Course. That's probably going to be Bandit. I bet it's going to be a. Yeah, I'm going to have to do something different because I can't quite make these out. A little too small. I'll figure this out for the next live stream. But that's probably going to be a Diamondback. I thought it so because I could kind of see a pattern in them, and they usually have a pattern. Looks like a somebody painted a chain link fence and laid it on their back. It's kind of the pattern they normally have. Very common. Those in the prairie, the plain uh, plain belly water snakes are two extremely common water snakes in the area. Harmless right, Central Texas. Right by my pond. This is a checkered garter snake. Those are sometimes kept as pets and things too in the pet trade. Very cool. They have this really cool checkered pattern on the back. Usually have a line stripe down the middle of the back, and they usually have fairly large black blotching on the back of their neck. Uh, Pretty common in Central Texas. Yeah, I'll check it. I know it's not venomous. What kind of snake is this? Oh, that's easy. As soon as you see this gray head, white chin, his eyes like that, uh, man, a larger snake, that's going to be a Western rat snake. They said they are the most common snake, and then the most common snake that shows up in the group, at least according to a survey that a couple of friends did back. And a lot of people came together on that. Let's see. Yep. Western rat snake. Can anyone identify this snake? Another Western rat snake found on the side of the road near property. You know, if they found on the side of the road, if you find any animal, dead animal on the road, if you want to, it's a good idea to move that snake on the side of the road as far as you can away from the road. That way, it saves a lot of the predators. How many times have you seen a dead animal on the road and find like a vulture been hit right there beside of it? All these do attract in all kind of scavengers. So if you move them off the road, you do save some scavengers. Let's see. Is this a juvenile diamondback rattlesnake? We're in McKinney. Only found near. Okay, being in McKinney, it's unlikely it's a Western diamondback rattlesnake. Just because it's a McKinney, it would be on the extreme eastern edge of their range, and I don't even know if they go clear into McKinney. But we're going to see. That's not. I saw this earlier. This to me looks like a prairie rattlesnake. And prairie rattlesnakes are definitely not found in McKinney. They're found way out west, out past Abilene, even really, out in that area, north. I guess even farther west than Abilene. What it's there for, I don't know how it got there. I wish I could see if its head was crushed or something, but they said he found like near some garbage bins. I'm wondering if somebody wasn't keeping it as a pet and it died and they threw it out and a predator or something or a scavenger pulled it out. I'm not sure, but that prairie rattlesnake, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I think I know what it is. Just wanted to verify. Waxahachie. Up there's another. Oh man, he's been hit recently too. To tell the way its mouth is and the way it's kind of turned like that, it just got hit by a car. It's a western rat snake. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Let's see. Can you tell what kind of snake is found? It one of the no, for sure it was venomous. Oh, this is a very small snake. You see the blades of grass? Look how small that head is. And this is definitely a rough earth snake. These can be very common, especially in your backyard. You can flip up a rock or pick up something in your backyard. You can find them there. They're very, very common. Check something. All right. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, I want to show you something too. Something I thought was pretty cool. I figured I can do. Um, I got this. Check this out. Can anybody identify that snake? The colors are wrong. The green screens or the background's trying to. Let's see if we can do. Yeah, it's not wanting to cooperate. Dadgummit. See, it's blending. It thinks it's the background. If I keep it the same distance from my face, it's going to be better. But anyhow, that is a 3D printed model of a copperhead. And that's from a photo. Took a photo of that snake and put it through some AI. And man, it came out awesome. Colors were off because I didn't have the filament types I needed. So I'm going to buy some more filament and reprint that. I just want to see if it worked. Worked out pretty cool. We even got and you're not gonna be able to tell very much, but this is a oops, upside down. It's a very large head that's from a photograph of a cottonmouth. So this is gonna be pretty cool once I get those. And of course, yeah, if it'll even show up, but rattlesnake from a photograph too. These are gonna be cool when I get them colorized. Pretty sure it's a rat snake, not just because it has a rat in its mouth. That might. Oh yeah, check that out. That's pretty cool. Looks like he finished up there. Yep, eating rat. That is definitely a western rat snake. Good example of how good they are at catching rats and the benefits they have. It's pretty cool. Uh, be aware that many snakes eat rodents. That's true. Yeah. Dave Hodges is one of our moderators. He's on a lot. Does a lot of good work there. We have a lot of good moderators in the group and mods and admins. Hard to see. Yeah, I agree. That's not hard to see. That's a good old western rat snake. Now, if you notice, I was talking about earlier how the head has had a gray head and a white chin. Well, this doesn't have a gray head and a white chin. And that's because it's a baby. When they're young, little like this, their head, the pattern on their head goes away when they get older, and that chin even becomes more white, more pronounced. The pattern kind of fades. Sometimes they can get really large; they can almost be black. But that's a really cool one. I love little rat snakes. Oh, what kind of rattlesnake? Nevada. He rattled or retreated. Let me try to guess. Nevada. Probably prairie rattlesnake. Let's see. Oh no, that it's hard to see from. I mean, you see, it looks like speckled. Yeah, Southwest speckled rattlesnake. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. There you go. Another common snake. There's a good old western rat snake. And the rest western rat snakes seem to do better in areas that have a lot of houses. And I think that's because people tend to be messy. They put out, bird food and bird, help, they like birds, sport birds in all the ways. All that bird feed falls on the ground. Birds come and eat it. The smell's there, tracks the rat snakes, also tracks rodents from all the bird seed and things. So it's just a smorgasbord, and normally there's some kind of water around. Well, with you have a lot of people have a lot of houses around. People will either leave out bowls of water. They have bird baths. They have dripping faucets. One of the big culprits I found is air conditioning units that you have a house that's got an central air conditioner, and the AC in the attic has got a pan in there that normally drains out through to your normal sewage, whatever kind of sewer you have. If it's no matter if it's city sewer or you got a septic tank or whatever, it goes through that. You don't ever really see it. If that plugs up, usually there's an overflow drain by the front door, back door. Sometimes it's on the side of the house. I've seen them all over the place, and they'll start dripping. So in the middle of summer, when it's been hot forever, you'll get a puddle of water underneath of that, and that is awesome for bringing in all kind of wildlife. Even snakes come to drink there. So you're providing all the habitat in the neighborhood, even if you're not. But your neighbors might be in a combination. Everybody might have a little piece of the puzzle. So you end up having a great habitat, and there's lots of snakes there. My favorite crotalus. When they say croat is short for Crotalus, and Crotalus atrox, Crotalus whatever. Crotalus atrox is a western diamondback rattlesnake. So a lot of times if you're out with us and we mention atrox, we're meaning western diamondback rattlesnake. But it's easier to say atrox than it is western diamondback rattlesnake. I like speckled rattlesnakes, and they come in lots of different colors, like the white ones. Can someone verify this, please? Oh boy, that's another video. See how hard it is to see in a video? Oh, that's gonna be a western rat snake, though. Come on. Oh, that was my fault. Yeah, it's just a western rat. Decent photo, decent video. You definitely ID that from there. And if you find, a snake in a weird place, that's almost always going to be a rat snake, usually a western rat snake. There's a whole Facebook group called Rat Snakes and Predicaments, just because of that. It's a yellow kind of, I think it's a yellow belly, but just one of the confirmation. When you say yellow belly, there's two different yellow bellies. There's yellow belly water snake and yellow belly racer. So this is a yellow belly racer. You see the big old buggy eyes and the dopey look on its face, and the kind of the yellow gives it away. And that the tail color, see, its tail changes to that kind of a brown. That's another of an adult will have that kind of that color shift most of the time. Another cool thing is these, when are babies, they're very heavily patterned, but as adult they don't have any pattern at all. No, it's not a snake. Does anyone know what type of turtle this is? Yeah, that's going to be a little red-eared slider. She's a little guy. It looks bigger in the picture. Then you look over here, he's a little tiny thing. Yes. And there's another group too. Got the North Texas Wildlife Talk and Facts. That's a good place to put other kind of non-snake wildlife in there. If you have questions about, if you have help with getting something rehabbed, or you just have a question about non-native snakes, that's a good place to go. I mean, non-snake questions. Let's get this thing set up again. Cena, Texas. Sorry, but not the best picture I could get. Well, that's enough for me. As soon as I see this little area right there, I can identify what that is. There those little chalk lines we were talking about and the darker color snake. This is a plain belly water snake, or more specifically, a yellow belly water snake. They keep changing this one around. It's changed several times. So yellow belly water snake used to be this this type of snake, but over eastern Texas area, and most of them had a yellow belly. But I found them over here in the west side of the metroplex too. So that's kind of, I don't know if the subspecies thing gets kind of crazy. Selena, Texas. Oh yeah, look at that, nice bold kind of color. Got the gray head, white chin on it. These cool chevrons on the back. It's definitely a western rat snake, and you can tell by the size of the blades of grass. It's a pretty good size snake too. These guys are so long. Yeah, the longest one I think I've had is like 6.5 feet. Is this a DK's brown snake? McKinney, Texas. Found in the gardening and relocated to my Kenny Lily garden. He seems lethargic. That is a DK's brown. And what you can tell, sometimes it has this little, usually has a stripe down the back of some sort. No, it's not bold. There's some kind of stripe. and they're usually almost speckling like this down the sides of it. Sometimes it can be more of a solid pattern, and can't really tell in this one. A lot of times at the tail, the pattern kind of disappears and just a little brown. Also, they have these really kind of dark blotches right here, and kind of eye spots almost on them right here. Two black dots. That's a really good way to indicate either a DK's brown or a yellow, red belly. Uh, yeah, red belly snake. Anyhow, these guys don't really are really that we call it you know energetic. They're kind of calm, laid back, so that's probably why it seemed lethargic. And it might be a little cold depending on when they found it. Let me see, they found it today, 5 hours. Kind of warmed up a little bit, but it could have been in a cold area. And it's kind of cool and it's kind of relaxed. They like to eat slugs. It's one of their favorite foods. Other soft-bodied insects. Pretty cool. Let's see. Uh, when I had first started, they said, look at the sheriff's badge. Yeah, there's kind of a sheriff, sort of. That's not 100%. I don't know if that was totally accurate, but yeah, it's pretty good enough. There we go. Another. There's the little uh, chalk marks on its back, and the kind of the yellow chin on it. You can almost see the little black banding on it too. So that's going to be a yellow belly water snake or a plain belly water snake. Edmond, Oklahoma. Is that a? And it's hard to tell for some reason. First glance, there was a hog nose, but almost because he's almost these black dots right here on the side, but there's nothing here. Head doesn't look right. It's probably a western rat snake. Nope, eastern hognose snake. I was right. I should have went with my instincts. But I can't tell in this picture. Can't zoom in enough. But usually the head is a little bit straighter, but it could have been hot, kind of partly flaring. But normally you see these black dots like that. That just jumps out at you. Good old eastern hognose. We don't always get the best pictures to identify a thing is, so it's gonna be tricky sometimes. On the rat also help me. Cool. Let's see what we got next. Please help me. Is this a good snake? It disappeared into my plans. Animal control didn't answer the phone, so I really hope it's a good snake. Well, when it comes to good snakes or bad snakes, I don't think there is such thing as a good snake or a bad snake. Snake's a snake. A snake is doing what snaky things do. Uh, if they bite you, it's not out of like being mean. It's usually out of defense, or they think you're food accidentally. But they're not going to do it to be mean or friendly. If they're friendly, seems friendly, he's just kind of hanging out. Doesn't mean he's a good snake. So snakes are just snakes. But this is definitely a good old western rat snake with that pattern on the back like that. Boy, stretched out and by a house. Yeah, western rat snake. Just curious. Found the found in garden and left to do snaky things. Thank you. Wherever that is, thank you right there. Oh, see, okay, this is a cool one. This is definitely a water snake. Somebody said diamond backed. I'm not seeing. It almost looks like the colors in there. Probably is. Man, I'll have to zoom in. But with the diamondback and the plain belly water snake is what I'm going back and forth. It looks like there's pretty straight lines here and a little bit of reddish hue. A lot of these plain belly water snakes have lots of kind of reds and stuff on their sides. I'm going to click on this. You might not be able to see what this is. See if anybody else disputes that. No, it's definitely a water snake, but I need to look at that a little closer because I'm not seeing. I'm missing something. I'm not seeing diamondback. I'm seeing plain belly. Let's see if anybody else is in the. Oh, I tried to see a petticoat. Yeah, the petticoat pattern looks like a plain. Yeah, I think it is, but man, because the Diamondbacks usually don't have like kind of the reddish. There's not much there, and I'm kind of stretching it, but normally have some kind of a cross pattern. That's kind of going straight. So I think that's a plain belly. But either way, it's a water snake. So if they had got it wrong between a venomous and non-venomous, I would immediately jump on it right now and fix it. But it's kind of like it's important, but not critical. Yeah, look at this. Well, that's hard to tell in the water to see any kind of a pattern. Man, that's a tough one. Let me see if anybody else has ID'd it. There's Josh. Man, Josh has been working his butt off today on the group. Um, Harmless yellow belly water snake. Good enough for me. Aha, this is a good one. Found Oak Point, Texas. Mother and babies? Nope. This is a big female diamondback water snake. And you see these smaller ones on her? Those are males, most likely trying to breed. I've seen, when you see a ball of water snakes like this, it's almost always diamondback water snakes. And I think this is where cottonmouths, the cottonmouth balling of cottonmouths, breeding balls of cottonmouths comes from. I've never seen a breeding ball of cottonmouths. They don't really seem to hang out in that big of numbers. I've seen 3 or 4 kind of in the same vicinity, but not like this. This is something typically you see with diamondback water snakes. That's juvenile yellow belly for me. Okay, that's what I think too. But this is kind of cool. So I have seen, man, big females with a dozen or more small males trying to breed with her. They're really cool. Saw a, s- saw a snake, but I couldn't get a picture of it before I ran away. Hey, that's nothing wrong with that. Just don't hurt yourself running away. But you can always just step back. And yeah, this is what Josh said. Without a photo, we'd basically be guessing. I mean, because people, I don't know, describe things differently. So, they've seen games where people do this too. They'll be trying to have someone draw a picture. They're looking at something and they're describing the picture and having someone that's not looking at what they're looking at trying to draw what they're saying. And it comes out completely wrong. Even colors. Sometimes someone will say a snake was a certain color. When you actually go find the snake and you get it in your hand, that color, I don't even see that color in the snake at all. And that was what they primarily thought the snake was. So it's hard to ID something from a description. Oh, this is cool. Found in Millsap. This might be a difficult identification unless you really know what you're looking for. And this line right there gives it away for me. That's all I need. That black line right at that height and no colors on the face, just kind of the bland color. You can almost see a stripe, see the stripe down the middle of its back. But this is a Texas patch nose. It's one of the snakes here in North Texas that I've never found. I've never found a patch nose. I found a fresh shed that was still wet. It was so, that snake had to be just crawled out of the thing minutes ago. Never did find it. That and a timber rattlesnake. I have never found a live timber rattlesnake either. I have found some patch nose snakes in West Texas. I found which one was it? The Big Bend patch nose and a mountain patch nose. I found out there. So a couple of those, but I've never seen one of those. Picture ID in the comments. So I don't want to dig through the comments. There's diamondback water snake. Okay. Think I know, but I think I know it is, but my husband thinks something different. Joshua, Texas. Oh, that's easy. That is a good old Western rat snake. You can tell by that pattern, those colors. It's easy. Just went back and looked at that previous one, the one in the garden. It's Rithigaster. Rithigaster is plain bellied water snake. What you see, what you are seeing is the lateral pattern. Yeah, it's on the side. Lateral means on the side. Yeah, it's on definitely on the side pattern. Uh, I had not heard of that one. Oh, the patch nose? Patch nose are cool. I like patch nose snakes. They're strong lizard eaters, so it's kind of hard to keep them in captivity. What is this? That looks like a speckled king snake. First glance, what I can see is I can see some wide banding here. This is another example where it kind of looks like yeah, speckled king. I'm right. Uh, this is the one has banding across it like this. You might want to say it's a plain bellied water snake, but it's not. Usually these are more yellow and black, and this would be more bold and wider colored. Now, there's the same picture. Must have been 2 different people, or they just had it twice. I'm curious. Yeah, okay, just had it twice. Bull snake? No, I haven't seen a bull snake yet. There we go. That's a nice little DK's brown snake in a defensive posture. He's trying to defend himself. Okay, this is a good form for identification. It does have a darker color head. If you look, you see he's almost got this checkering, speckling thing goes down the body with that stripe down the middle of the back. The stripe is actually a spot where there's just no pattern. It's kind of weird. It's not a stripe, but there's no pattern there. And if you look, you can see how the pattern fades away at the tail. This is what I was talking about on the previous image. Mark knows snakes, frogs, and turtles better than anyone I've ever met. I'm good, but I am not the best. Hey, Jeff. Hey, man, I haven't talked to you in a long time. It's probably been, I don't know, a couple of years. Dude, how you been doing? Uh, Man, need to hang out with you more. Glad you showed up. Appreciate it, man. And if I'm reading comments that you're not seeing on the platform you are, it's because I'm looking at both Facebook and YouTube comments at the same time on my feed. DK's brown. Yep. Mr. Krabby Pants Cottonmouth takes up the whole path. I tossed a twig at him and he headed back to the stream, back to the creek. Yep, that's a good old cottonmouth, and that's typical. They're scaredy cats from my experience I've had. So many stories of cottonmouths chasing people and things. Man, it's just crazy. I've never had that experience. I had a hard time getting them on film or photos or video because they usually take off long before I can get my camera up. Man, I've had way more get away from me than stand their ground or do anything. If they would just stand their ground, that would be amazing. But usually they just take off. If you catch one on the middle of the trail or someplace where it can't go anywhere, that's when they will start displaying. They'll start flopping their tail around really weird. They'll start flashing their mouth at you. The colors, their mouth art is white, and it is whiter than most other snakes. But you got to understand, most other snakes have a white mouth. And if you haven't really seen a lot of cottonmouths and a lot of other snake mouths out in the field, if you see a rat snake open its mouth, you're going to think it could be a cottonmouth because the color, you're not going to be able to tell that it's not as white as a cottonmouth unless you had a cottonmouth with it and you're looking at them, comparing them directly. Then you could tell the difference. Okay, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about the plain belly water snakes almost being black. This guy's a dark, dark one, and I don't see any of that little banding that you would see on a plain belly. Probably because he's getting ready to shed. You see how his eyes are kind of blue? That's the outside layer of the skin. Basically, another layer is kind of growing on the skin layer, and as it pushes through, it starts separating from the bottom layer, and there's a layer of fluid that builds up between the two layers. That's that opaque, milky looking color. And as it separates, getting ready to shed, it'll start separating like this. And as it starts to separate, that'll start drying out. As it dries out, their eyes will clear back up, their skin will clear back up, and usually within a day or two, they'll molt out. They'll shed their skin off. But one of the easy ways I could tell is just by that derpy head. This way I can ID this guy. That really derpy head, the big old giant froggy looking eyes. And if you look, you got these nice even vertical bars right there on the lips of this snake. Makes it pretty easy to identify. But if I was in the wild and all I saw was just a section of body, I wouldn't touch that snake. It's heavily keeled, no pattern, so you cannot distinguish it from a cottonmouth. Not easily, at least. I wouldn't touch it until I saw a little bit more to be able to identify it. I've had some plain belly water snakes get away from me because I didn't jump when I grabbed them because didn't know what could identify it. Okay, this is here perfect example when I was talking about the red. This is a plain bellied water snake, a juvenile. So this snake and this snake are the exact same species, even the same subspecies. This is just a baby. And if you look at the cool pattern on the side, you see the little reddish colors in here I was talking about. And there's little chalk marks on its back. So this could potentially grow up to look like that. So that's a pretty cool way it's back to back like that. That worked out great. But they're feisty when they're babies and they're feisty when they're adults. If you're really gentle with them, you can sometimes get away without getting bit, but you're taking a risk. Anytime you grab a hold of a water snake, he could grab you back. And the more gently you grab them, the better chances you have of them not biting you, more supporting them. but you got to be really gentle. Can anyone identify the snake was found on a friend's sidewalk? There again, it looks like I'm seeing plain-bellied water snake. Nope, diamondback. Yeah, okay. There's no coloration at all in here. It's a smaller snake, no colors at all. And if I think up right there, see the X? Boom. Good call, Jeff. I mean, Joshua. That is definitely a diamondback water snake. But see, you have to be real careful with these photos. If you only get a little section of it, it's hard. Please confirm a snake. Oh man, that is a beautiful yellow belly eraser. Look at that nice, cool greenish hues in the back, bright yellow. That thing's belly would be glowing yellow. That'd be such a beautiful photo, beautiful snake. And if you notice, their scales are not keeled; they're smooth. So in a keeled scale, let's go back to the water snake, the big water snake. You can see it real easy. So if you look at each one of these little scales, you'll see the little ridge down the back, and that's actually sticking up. So you run your finger across it. This snake feels really rough. He's got a very, very rough texture. Probably help move him around in a slick environments, around in the water and trying to hold on to fish or things too. So that's probably advantageous for that. However, the yellow belly racer, look, no keeling. This is a very smooth snake. This snake shoots through the grass at very high speeds. It needs to move. It doesn't need all that roughness to catch on things and slow it down. These are an active hunter. They have nice big eyes, and their eyes are kind of set in the front of their heads. So they have binocular vision. They can look straight forward in front of them, chase down things like lizards and mice and stuff like that. They're one of the only snakes that love to be out when it's 105 degrees outside. These and coach whips, very, very high temperature tolerant, and it really helps them move fast too. Oh man, that's a neat color one. Okay, we found this beautiful snake in our eyes in Wolf's area of Granbury. I'm in Granbury, so this is close to me. This is a hognose, and I could tell just by this is a hognose just by that part right there. And what I would look at is kind of how it's flattening out, and it's got this weird pattern. Sometimes they don't fit that nice little petticoat dots down the side. That can be a little weird pattern. But that face, man, the darker patterns, usually there's big darker spots right here. They're kind of in a fold, and they flare this out, and they'll flare the head out. They'll have big black dots right here in their head. And this one even has a little bit of dark color here. There's that upturned nose, very sharp upturned nose. Uh, Racer confused me early on. Doesn't look like the baby. No, the babies, reading a comment, the babies are heavily patterned. Very cool, bright. A lot of times they have lots of little, almost rainbowy colors in their speckling on their sides. Very pretty little snakes, and they lose all that cool pattern and turn solid. They are cool snakes. Hey, thought y'all like this. And Maybank, this is going to be an Eastern coach whip. Look at that cool head, and they usually have a dark head, and it fades to a lighter color as it goes back. Oh yeah, there's a shed. And here's a cool way you can identify these. See, there's no keeling. Even on the shed skin, you're going to see a keel if they have a keel. So this is a larger snake and no keeling on it whatsoever. And if you had the anal plate, you could tell if it's divided or a solid anal plate can help you identify it. Hey, there's my daughter identifying that guy. Ooh, she got it wrong. I'll have to get her in trouble with that one. This is an Eastern coach whip, especially around Maybank and that black head. Although this snake looks lighter color. I wonder if that's the same. Oh, that's the shed. Okay, that's what threw me off. I was like, why is that looking like a different snake? It's not. It's just a thing. So I'm gonna have to get on my daughter's case. Oh boy, she made a mistake. That's a minor one though. Uh, I'll talk to her later about that. Shame on her. Okay, what kind of snake? Wichita Falls. Oh, look at that big old bulge in there. This is a Western rat snake. It looks like he ate something. Maybe a rat. Probably doing his job. Very cool. Just had dinner. Please identify. Yep, another Western rat snake. Look at that nice, cool pattern. See, this one doesn't have really the sheriff's badge on it, uh, but got the white chin, gray head, and some of these, especially younger ones, I've seen that looks like the state of Texas on its side. A couple, the upper part of the body, three or four of these down, they'll come through and they'll look like that one. See that one there? If you, squint a little bit, you can see the state of Texas in there. I've noticed quite a few of them have that in there. And they used to be called Texas rat snakes, which I thought was cool because it has Texas, the map of Texas right on its side. It's really cool. Those were all sheds, I think. Yeah, they were all sheds. That's why I zoomed in on that one. That one just looked like a light colored coach whip. Other snakes I've personally witnessed doing this copperhead, possibly. I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna skip down what that's going on. It's a video. Okay. What species? Stephenville. Oh man, check him out. Okay, this is cool. If you watch this, there's a snake right there. It's hard to see. But if you watch it, let's see if we can replay that video. Start from big. Yeah. I don't know if you're watching. See how he's moving? He's kind of like shaking. This is a rough green snake. And they're an arboreal, semi-arboreal snake. Most of the time they're found in the trees. They can be found on the ground, crossing from one place to another. But when the wind's blowing a little bit, they'll shake their body and make it look like they're a stick being blown by the wind. They're cool when they do that. They're one of my favorite snakes. They're just so usually gentle. I've heard rumors about them biting and things, but they're usually really gentle snakes. They can get, I don't know, 2.5, almost 3 feet long. I've seen them. Some really cool ones. They lay eggs and have little tiny babies that hatch out of the eggs. And they're primarily insect eaters. They'll eat small frogs and stuff too. They're a really neat snake. Oh man, look at that. Oh, see, there's the petticoat. The button's on like a petticoat right down the side. This is an eastern hognose. There's the big old eye spot on the back of the neck. And they flare out. These are big round dots. Supposed to look like a big eye and just help scare a predator away. The upturned nose. It's a pretty cool red one. They come in red, yellows. I've seen them like weird greenish colors, almost like a Halloween orange, jet black, no pattern at all. These guys can be just awesome. So so you can't really rely on colors when you're trying to identify these guys. But this petticoat is fairly consistent. Sometimes you have some wacky colors. Upturned nose. Yep, he's got that little upturned nose. You know what he uses that upturned nose for? These are one of the few snakes that actually will dig. They'll dig their own nest in sand. They'll dig down through the sand and dig down really deep, lay eggs, and come back up and cover them up. They will also use that for digging up toads, one of their primary foods. And in the summertime, when it starts getting warm out, or during the daytime, toads a lot of times will dig themselves down under the soil a little bit. Well, if these guys are going around and they smell a toad, they will actually dig it up and grab a hold of it and eat it. So that's what the upturned nose is for. Really cool snakes. They're about everybody's favorite. Any ideas? Very small. Could be a juvenile. Cedar Creek area tool. Oh man, I think looks like you might have an eye fungus or something. This is definitely a water snake. Probably a diamondback water snake, but he's got a funky eye. A whole lot to go on this. Bill zooming in. I can't really zoom in. Diamondback water snake, yeah. But I think there's something wrong with that eye. Maybe even this eye too. Mojave rattlesnake, tombstone. First one of the season. Venomous. Oh, correction. Okay, he thought it was a Western diamondback, and they're saying it was a Mojave. Yes. You see the way that line comes back from the back of the mouth, goes way back to the back, and that overall coloration and stuff too. Yeah, that's going to be. He's in bad shape though. It looks like he's really thin. At least that picture. It was just yeah, he's really thin. Look how he's not moving real well either. Poor guy. If you can see a tail, it'll have wide white bands, and the black bands will be thinner. Yeah, that guy's in trouble. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's not healthy. That's a huge amount of rattles, though. Big stack. If he shows up again. Yeah, look at that. That's a pretty cool. See how much wider the white band are than the black? It's one of the ways you can tell the Mojaves. That's not always true. I've seen a lot of the Mojaves have almost even, and sometimes even Western Diamondbacks have a little wider white bands. It's not exactly 100%, perfect, but you're not gonna be able to see in this video. But usually the button that's closest to the body, half of it will be like almost corn colored. And that seems to be consistent. Nothing's 100%, but everyone I've seen so far is like that. Is this size snake even capable of eating this size toad? Must be a hognose or a water snake. What in the world? That's a little ribbon, it looks like. No, he can't get that down. That's a little ribbon snake. Boy, he's ambitious. Nope, there's no way that dude can eat that, but they don't care. They'll try. Pretty cool little dude. That's funny. Here's a shed. Okay, let me help everybody. If you do find a shed and you want to identify, want us to help you identify it, this is great. Laying it down to a ruler gives us an idea how long it is and how wide. Now I can get a real sense of the size of it. That's great. But what I need also is you to zoom in on, if you got the head, that's great too. But the head doesn't seem to help me as much as zooming into the back of it, right down the spine area. Like this is a big good section to zoom in on. So I got some of the spine and down through the body. Like a Western rat snake, a shed will have a lot of keeling, heavy keeling. We talked about that with a little line down the scale. It'll be really heavy, a lot of it here. Then as it goes through the belly, it fades away. So by the time it gets to the belly, the scales are almost perfectly smooth down here. So when I see that, I can tell real quick, hey, that's going to be a Western rat snake. And if you were to get it, lay it out, like laying it out is great because sometimes I can see a pattern in it too, and that helps. Also helps the vent, basically where it goes to the bathroom at. If you zoom into that area, the scale right there, where right above the vent, would be slit, which means it's broken, or it's going to be solid. That helps narrow down what it is too. Just some ideas. But with this shed, when I can see here, there's no way I can get. I can eliminate a lot of snakes just based on the size, but you know, there's still quite a few things it could be. Long and thin like that, so you still got coach whip, Western rat snake, maybe even a yellow belly. Let me see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yellow belly water snake's probably ruled out because it's not wide enough. Could be bull snake. I don't think it's going to be. Those would be my guesses right off the bat, just based on the size. Did it say where it was from? Lake Dallas, so this is Dallas area. That'd be kind of, but I couldn't tell you for sure. Sunbathing. Look at that. See those little lines right there? Man, that jumps out at me. That's just a yellow-bellied water snake, or a plain-bellied water snake. Please ID. What do we got here? So this is a very light colored, but this is still a Western Western rat snake by these pattern down its back. And you can even see this inconsistent blotches on the side. Definitely a very light colored Western rat snake. I've been on here over an hour. I'm probably not going to stay on too much longer. Let's see. Oh, we hadn't seen a bull snake yet. There you go. There's a bull snake. These can get really big, heavily keeled snake. Love to hiss at you. Have some really bold black markings on the face. One of my favorites. It is so big and full of energy. There's another DK's brown. There's a turtle. This is a stink pot. That's definitely not a slider. I need to erase that. That's a bad ID. This is going to be one of the mud or musk turtles. Where was it found? Didn't say. I love snakes. Hey, I love snakes too. That's why we're on here. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is definitely a diamondback water snake. You can see the bold markings, and then it's how it Y's off right here. This is going to cross, make like an X pattern on the back. Definitely a diamondback water snake. These guys get big. I've seen them, as big around as my forearm and being 5 foot plus. I like the patterns of a bull snake too. They're just a pretty snake. I've seen some of them very, very dark, almost black. But most of them are more of a yellowish kind of color. I hatched 3 mud turtles from eggs in 2001. Those are cool. Mud turtles are baby mud turtles. If you haven't seen them, man, they're like nickel size. They're awesome. Hey, there's somebody helping out a good old Western rat snake. Good job. I like seeing that. I'm sure they're going to release him somewhere. West Texas. Okay, is now we got something. Okay, yeah. See, all right. Let's take a look at this. We see a rattle. So we know it's a rattlesnake. No black and white bands on a tail. So we rule out Western Diamondback rattlesnake and Mojave rattlesnake. And they said, I'm assuming this is going to be out not the city of West, but out in western part of Texas. So I'm going to rule out black and white tail. Rules out Western Diamondback and Mojave rattlesnake. So the only other large rattlesnake out there is the prairie rattlesnake. So right there, just by seeing this much of the snake, not even seeing a pattern and knowing where it's from, I can identify that snake. But if you didn't tell me the location, then I would let's look a lot more. So if we could look up his body, you see how it's kind of like a bar is going across the back here, and then it starts turning into more of the Pac-Man or the heart shape here. And you notice there's no lightning bolts on the top of the head. If it had lightning bolts, it could be a Massasauga rattlesnake. But of course, hardest to judge size on this, but the Massasaugas don't get nearly as big as the prairies. So no lightning bolts on the head, and this kind of they don't have as much heart shape. Usually it's just kind of like the anterior, which is towards the head side, is kind of crushed in a little more on these. It's rounded kind of in the back normally, or kind of more of a bat wing. But it almost always just goes down the little bars down here in the lower part of the body. So that's going to be a prairie rattlesnake. Massasauga. No, that's not a Massasauga. And Massasaugas are in the western part of Texas, but they're not nearly as big. So what do we got going on here? What am I missing? I don't see a snake. Oh, there we go. Why isn't something's messing up here? I don't know. I'm gonna skip that one. Something went goofy. Another Western rat snake. Eyes are glowing. Yellow belly racer. Just gonna dust these stuff here real quick. Looks like a sawtooth picture hanger. There's a rough earth. Yeah. Oh man. There we go. I saw this earlier. I didn't know if you run into it or not. This is a DK's brown. This is not DK's brown. I'm sorry. This is a line snake, but it's an albino. That's cool. I've never seen an albino until this picture. That's pretty neat. That was a cool find. All right. I think I'm pretty much done. Oh yeah, this is the Western rat snake, and yes, Western rat snakes can swim. They can swim on top of the water, and they can swim under the water. They can swim under the water way faster than they can move on land. They are literal missiles underwater. Let me see comments. Chris Smith, we have to remember that the tail end pattern for that. We'll have to remember the tail end pattern for that rattlesnake. Beautiful. All right, let's see. Oh, man. All right, it's kind of, for a quick glance, you might think this is a copperhead, but this is actually a cottonmouth. I can tell by that pixelated pattern, just the way it's headed, colors. That's even better. That's a beautiful one, too. Has anybody idea yet? No. How long ago? 22 hours? Oh, okay, somebody already knew what it was. Okay, never mind. I'm going, somebody should identify that, but the poster did. Please ID. Son-in-law. Oh boy, that's tough. First thing I think is Speckled King, a young one. Yep, a Speckled King. After a while, you do this so often, and you just glance at something and something pops in your head. Normally it's right. I had a black rat snake fall out of a tree with a live squirrel 10 feet in front of me the other day. Wow. That'd be crazy. Okay, well, I think I'm going to have to sign off here. Hopefully you guys, anybody in the area, can come and come to the next couple of events with me. Come out to the Fort Worth Nature Center on Memorial Day weekend to see a lot of snakes on display. And also come to the DFW Herpetological Society down in Dogwood Canyon here in a week and a half. So I'm going to try to do this again next week. I might do it on a Wednesday or Friday. I'll have to set up a schedule. Because I don't want to step on Michael Smith, because, man, I'd rather you go hang out with him, listen to his broadcast than what I'm doing here, because I think I could do this anytime, but that's a very special opportunity to check that out. So such a knowledgeable naturalist, you can't miss out. You just got to go see that. Uh, Trust me. Steamboat, Texas. Oh, Steamboat. Oh, Steamboat, Texas. Oh, see, Steamboa. That's funny. Steamboat, Texas. My favorite books growing up was the Peterson's Field Guide. I could see that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe on my Facebook. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That helps me out and to see more content. Hopefully, I get back into posting things pretty regularly, and hopefully, I get some more videos out. And I get to go out and do some stuff here once things get a little less busy, and maybe even during the Snakes of Tarrant County, we might do a live stream out there. That could be fun. But thank you for joining me. Could you put a link to Michael Smith's YouTube? You know what I'll do is, and yeah, I could do. I already posted a link in the "What kind of snake is this?" Educational group in Facebook. So I posted something there. I'll post something again. And what I'll do is, when I'm done with here, I'll jump over to YouTube, and once it does finalize its things, I'll put either in the first comment or in the description. I'll put links to the events that I'm talking about. All three of those events should have events now set up for them, so that'll help you find that information. Thank you for joining me. Where is Case County? I have to look that up. But hey, I will put those in the comments. Thank you. See you next time.